everybody, Salibonani. My name is Nash, your African travel pharmacist. Today we're going to take a look at malaria and its impact to travelers to Africa and in Africa. Before we begin, I would like you to realize that the climate in each African country is as different as the climate of Russia and India. There are 5 regions in Africa: East Africa, West Africa, Northern Africa, Central Africa and Southern Africa. So with that in mind, let us start with the question: what is malaria? Well, malaria is a disease that is transmitted by the female mosquito, and it is found in certain parts of the African continent. Malaria is a disease that can be prevented and treated. It can be serious to anyone's health and is fatal to pregnant women and children. Now, there are 4 basic ways of preventing malaria. We call them A, P, B, S: awareness, prophylaxis, bite prevention, and symptom awareness. Let's start with awareness. Now, there are 3 dominant types of malaria species that can be found in the African continent. We've got Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium vivax, and all these 3 are unfortunately resistant to chloroquine treatment. Why do we need to know this? Well, the chances of you getting malaria and the severity of the malaria in the region depends on the malaria species in that region. Plasmodium falciparum is the most dangerous, and infection from it can be quite fatal. Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium ovale, on the other hand, are not as vicious. Let's take a look at some of the most popular African destinations and what to expect from there. Let's start with Southern Africa. We have Angola, Mozambique, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and Zambia. All have 90% Plasmodium falciparum and 5% of the Plasmodium vivax. In Angola, all areas have a potentially high risk of infection, whereas Botswana has a low risk of infection, and it is mostly in central and northwest Botswana, which includes the Chobe National Park, and there is no risk in the 2 cities of Francistown and Gaborone. In Namibia, there is a low risk in the regions of Kavango, Kunene, Omusati, Oshana and Zambezi, with no malaria risk in the city of Windhoek. In South Africa, there is a low risk of infection present in the Limpopo, areas of KwaZulu-Natal province and the Kruger National Park. In Mozambique and Zambia, all the areas are prone to malaria with moderate risk of infection. In East Africa, Burundi, Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda all have 86% Plasmodium falciparum and 5% to 10% Plasmodium vivax. In Burundi and Kenya, all areas are potential moderate risk. In Tanzania and Uganda, all areas are high risk. In Central Africa, Cameroon, Chad, Congo-Brazzaville and Cote d'Ivoire all have malaria species Plasmodium falciparum 85%, Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax around 15%. All these regions have a high risk of malaria infection. In Egypt, which is North Africa, it is generally a safe place to visit right through with no malaria infection to worry about. For West Africa, Ghana, Guinea, Nigeria and Senegal, all these areas have malaria species being Plasmodium falciparum 90%, Plasmodium ovale 5 to 10% and Plasmodium vivax is quite rare. All these regions have a high risk of malaria infection. Remember, prevention is better than cure. So let's take a look at prophylaxis for immunity. For all the regions that I've mentioned, there are 3 prophylactic drugs that can be used: Malaron, doxycycline, and mefloquine. Now, before we tackle any of these, I'd like us to take note of side effects. A lot of people that I've come across laugh off side effects and assume that they are nothing to worry about. Please do not be one of those people. For knowledge of side effects may be the difference between saving your or your loved one's life. With Malaron, an anti-malarial tablet, and its side effects. Malaron should be taken daily with food or a milky drink around the same time daily. You need to take it a day or two before entering the malaria zone, and then make sure you take a tablet daily whilst in the malaria zone, and after leaving the malaria area you need to continue taking the tablet daily for 7 days. The adult dose is 1 tablet a day, whilst the pediatric dose is based on the child's weight. Malaron side effects include headaches, fever, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, and itching, amongst others. In comparison to doxycycline, it is a less expensive option in the long term. You are only required to take it 7 days after returning from your travel. Doxycycline is an antibiotic that should be taken a day or two before going into the malaria area. Doxycycline should be taken daily whilst in the malaria zone, and then when you get back from the malaria area, you should take doxycycline daily for 4 weeks. And it is not suitable for pregnant women or children under the ages of 8. Doxycycline side effects include nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain, amongst others. Important to note is that you need to avoid direct sunshine as the drug is sensitive to the sun. Also avoid antacids, zinc, and iron, as these products reduce the absorption rate of the drug. Mefloquine is an anti-malarial drug that should be taken after a meal with a full glass of water once a week on the same day of the week. You should take mefloquine at least 2 weeks or more before arriving in the malaria area, then weekly whilst you are in the malaria zone, and when you get back you need to take it for at least 4 weeks after leaving the malaria area. The adult dose is 250 mg once a week, and the pediatric dose is based on weight. Children 20 to 30 kgs, half a tablet, 125 mg once a week. And for those that weigh 30 to 40 kgs, a 3/4 tablet, which is 187.5 milligrams once a week. And for those that weigh over 45 kgs, an adult dose can be given once a week, which is 250 milligrams as well. Mefloquine's most common side effects include diarrhea, nausea, stomach pain, anxiety, seizures, and mental depression. The less common side effects include abnormal dreams, loss of appetite, and skin rash. Important to note is that you cannot take mefloquine if you are suffering from depression, any anxiety disorder, or have a history of seizures. You need to advise your doctor if you're pregnant or planning to become pregnant, or if you're breastfeeding. You also need to be cautious if you're on any blood thinners or heart medication, as the risk of heart problems or seizures may be increased. And lastly, let's take a look at the symptoms of malaria. Malaria has symptoms that are almost similar to flu: fever, chills, sweats, headache, body aches, nausea and vomiting, and fatigue. If you feel any of these while still in the area that you're visiting, or after you've left the area and you're back home, please ensure you see your doctor immediately for a malaria examination to be done, especially considering that Plasmodium falciparum is the most common malaria species in all the African regions that I have mentioned. For more information and advice on malaria, please feel free to contact me on the information provided, and don't forget to share, like and subscribe to this channel, as this is your gateway to a healthy and memorable travel experience to Africa. So from me, Nesh, your African travel pharmacist, I say, tatenda.
Woo-hoo!